Hello there, guys. I've been missing you all. I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year celebration and Happy New Year today. Seems like it's been forever since I've seen you all, even though it was just right before Christmas. But we'll just jump into stats first. So I'm Rachel, 34 years old, 6 foot tall, high weight, 363 pounds, a BMI of 51, a surgery day weight July the 6th, 2017 of 319 pounds. I beat obesity into remission January the 11th, 2018. I met my goal to become an organ donor for my son on July the 6th, 2018, weighing 178 pounds. And I was looking back on December the 17th, I weighed in at my doctor's office. I weighed in on my scale at 176. And so, unfortunately, let's just be honest, I I got a little off track. So I'm 186. So, anyways, but you know how it is. When you get some carbs flushed out of your system, that will come off pretty quickly. It's amazing the inflammation that comes along with me ingesting carbohydrates and sugar and things. Like my legs, my ankles are so puffy, and my face is all broke out. I never would have believed that that what you ate really showed up the way it does. But since I went nearly a year with no sugar whatsoever, I didn't have any acne like this, and so I know how it really does affect my body. So, sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. We had a little New Year's get together today, and my sister came in and she told me, our church really needs clothing donations, and I know you have things to donate. Kind of a hoarder. Yeah, I think it's the way that I was raised. I don't know if I've talked very much about it or not, but we were really poor growing up, and it was like we were like the type of family, like my parents didn't always jive too well with finances, and so I would help my dad balance a checkbook. I would go and get my mom's. I would go and secretly get my mom's purse. I would take her checkbook out, and I would help my dad balance the checkbook. And it would be like we'd be calculating how many boxes of macaroni and cheese we could buy the rest of the month, which, I mean, my parents had me really young. So it got better year after year. They had me, not really young, it's just relatively. They were in college, and they were both just, doing their little part-time jobs as they went to college. And my mom was told that she'd never be able to have children, and so, surprise, then I came along, and the doctors were wrong, but then they had a baby to take care of. And so it just wasn't always easy for them. And but anyway, so what I was saying is my sister said we needed to give to this cause, and she had several boxes already boxed up, and she was like, "You can take whatever you want." She's like, "But if you take something out, you should put something back in." So, anyways, I really liked this headband, and it's super chilly. Like it's the high of 30 here in Oklahoma. It's in the 20s now. We might actually see snow for the first time in like 5 years on this Thursday. So we'll see. My children are praying for that. But I'm sitting here boxing up some clothes. I just went in my closet and just grabbed a dozen pairs of pants and a dozen tops, and that's where I'm starting at here. And so I'm just folding up these things as we visit a little bit. But I wanted to start the new year off right with the accountability and support here. I only have really one goal for New Year's, for the whole new year. And it's something I've worked on little by little, but I just feel like saying it out loud brings a lot of power. And the truth is that I need balance. I I need balance in my life in every single area, and I've never been good at that. I'm always all or nothing, black or white. I don't want to be that way necessarily, but I am. And so, like even when it comes to social media and YouTube, how do y'all do it? How do y'all balance everything? The reason I haven't seen y'all is, I've been spending time with my family and taking care of them. We've all been really sick. Great grandparents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, all of my family. We've had this crazy stomach virus. So that's been a lot to deal with. And I did notice one thing, and I've thought about this for a while. One of the reasons that I eat poorly is to stay awake. I can count the nights I've slept 8 hours. There is no hands. Like, I haven't slept 8 hours in so long. It's always my son's feeding pump going off, or one of the kids are sick, or I'm staying up wrapping presents, or just always doing something, So my sleep is not good, and I know how important that is. Not only, just to decrease your stress level and everything, but because I stay up and eat. I eat to keep myself awake. That's probably one of my number one problems that I've had probably the last 6 months. I don't want to have a cup of coffee in the middle of the night while I'm trying to stay awake, because then you have the after effects, since it takes so long to get out of your system. But just the act of eating just kind of wakes me up for a little while, keeps me going. But I've really got to put a stop to that. Here it is, 10 o'clock, after 10 o'clock at night, and I'm just, getting started on this, but I'm feeling the munchies. I should go to bed now, but anyways. So that's something I want to work on. I just want to work on balance. I want to work on balance in my sleep, balance in my work life, knowing when enough is enough. Balance with all of the children's activities. It's kind of gotten out of control. Balance at church. They're wanting us to start this new program, physical, spiritual, emotional, volunteering. It's got 5 different components, and every week we meet together. Every week we have to do all these challenges. And last year I signed up, but it was really overwhelming and it was really too much. So I'm just sitting here trying to think priorities. I got this new mindfulness journal that for Christmas that I really want to work on. I want to work on mindfulness, and that goes into that leads into intuitive eating. Those are things I want to work on. And so I'm thinking about picking priorities. But my questions to you is how do you balance in your life in all these different areas? Especially those of you that have children. Do you set aside 30 minutes in the morning for YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and then 30 minutes in the evening? You just periodically have a few minutes. I just really try to be a present parent, and especially since I'm usually doing it mostly on my own, I feel like I have to make up and do double roles. I need to be doubly present and active with the boys. So that's probably a big thing that I struggle with. I really do want to interact and get to know you better, and I appreciate y'all's support so much. And on that note, something I was thinking about is why it's so important that we have the community that we have is I'm an outcast. I am not welcome in some of the other support structures that I had before. And what I mean by that is, for instance, one of my friends was talking about, she's like, oh man, I really got out of control over the holidays. I've really got to get back with it on New Year's. And I was like, yeah, me too. I've been off of my eating plan, and she said, yeah, right. And she just rolled her eyes and really didn't want to talk to me. And some similar situations happened, and I just got to thinking, for instance, we have never gotten so many treats as we did this holiday season. People brought over baskets and tins of cookies and candies and all kinds of things. And I was just really blown away. I've just never, it's so nice and people are so thoughtful and everything. But it just really was strange. And one person, when she delivered it, she said, "I'm so glad you don't have to watch what you eat anymore." And I was like so caught off guard. Like, I guess people just think that this is like some kind of, like, they really do think this is some kind of magic bullet, and that I don't have to watch what I eat or consider it anymore. So really strange, but I'm just so glad that we have each other as we are going through this, and we are still dealing with our, eating issues and our weight struggles, because we all know it just doesn't go away. Um, and that's not exclusive to people that haven't had weight loss surgery, because some of you have talked about it recently, and I never really considered it before, but the most successful people are here in our community, are here and working hard on Instagram and on YouTube and being accountable and all of that. And so some less accountable people out in the community, not in our community, but just out in the world, they look at it differently. That's another question I have for y'all. When people ask me about weight loss surgery, I tend to say, when they ask me, why does weight loss surgery work when all the other diets and stuff you didn't work? And my answer is usually it's an 80% hormonal change in my body and 20% restriction. But my husband, who, had vertical sleeve gastrectomy surgery 5 years ago, he says it's 80% restriction and 20% hormonal. And he's always said that. He said that since day one. And, it's strange to me. I mean, I can honestly, just to be completely honest, I can eat twice as much as my husband can eat today, being 18 months out compared to his 5 years. And I pretty much feel like from day one I've been able to eat that much more than him. So I'm just curious what your thoughts are and what you tell people and how y'all feel about it, Anyways, I'm not going to hold you hostage all day. It's been 12 minutes. I'm going to try to check in a little bit more regularly if I can get this whole balance underway in my life. I don't have all the answers. I appreciate any guidance y'all have on just balancing our health and fitness and family, just everything. So, Happy New Year, friends. I love you all. Remember, keep God on your mind and in your heart, and be successful.